that you are there. You're welcome to ICT Watch, one of the most informative, authoritative IT shows on TV, online, on our website. My name is Tayo Adeusi. You're welcome. On today's program, we have one of the top 20 CEOs in the ICT industry. We're talking about someone who's had over 30 years in technology and financial services in Nigeria. Payments and capital markets, to be very precise. Lots of companies, well, just to mention a few, we are actually in the premises with the MD, CEO, Inlaks, and it is my pleasure to have with us to interview today. Yeah, I didn't add that he was the former chairman of Nigeria Economics. What am I talking about? MD, CEO of Inlaks. Talking about the man in charge of Afghan operations. Talking about I use Mr. But I'm sure probably when he's introducing himself, he will let us into other things that are attached to that name. What am I talking about? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Mr. Bukar. Kyari. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you, sir.
Thank you so much. My name is Kyari Bukar. I am a graduate of physics from Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I did my NYSC at Shell here in Lagos and moved quickly to the US immediately after my service. I left for the US for my graduate studies in nuclear engineering. And after my graduate studies, I joined Hewlett Packard in Silicon Valley. And I worked in HP for, 13 and a half or so years before I decided to come back to Nigeria in 2001. And I joined FSB International Bank as a general manager and quickly became an executive director, information technology operations, and then within about 3 or so years after I've come back, I became the first Nigerian CEO of ValueCard, which is today called Unified Payments. I was instrumental in introducing Visa cards to Nigeria, so the very early start of chip and pin or electronic payment revolution that started in the early 2000s. We were more or less the pioneers, the trendsetters. So we set the path for what today is, some people call it cashless. I don't know if it is still cashless or not, but in general, I spent about 7 years in the ValueCard and left and became the CEO of Seies, Central Securities Clearing System, which essentially is the CSD or Central Securities Depository for the Nigerian capital market, and retired from there and thought I was retired until Inlaks knocked on my doors. So I came and became the CEO Africa Operations for Inlaks, and I've been in this seat for about 2 years now.
Wow.
Yes. Well, the information technology or information communications technology whatever people say, in general, it's basically technology in general is more or less an enabler for whatever development and growth a nation, in that, by extension, humanity needs, whether it is the next mousetrap or the next digital software or hardware that comes in and changes the way we do things. It's always something that comes in with a lot of skepticism initially, because sometimes it makes us change the way we do things. But in general, technology is all about improving our lives, and how an art convenience brings in efficiency to how we do things. Inlaks, in particular, have been around for 40 years. It started as part of a larger conglomerate, Inlaks Group, and it's a subsidiary that was primarily into computers. Of course, when it started, it was in the era of the mainframes, so we were selling accessories and things that are needed, required, from the papers to all the other accessories, and graduated into what it is today. Today, Inlaks is in several African countries: Nigeria, Ghana. We have an office in Ghana covering the rest of West Africa. We have office in Kenya covering East Africa. And not only do we do banking and core banking application, which is we are the foremost partners of Terminus, the core banking application, which is T24, and in addition to that, in fact, T24 has a very different variance from central banking to commercial banking to what I call IBS, which is presented to even microfinance banks. We also have a very robust and probably the largest and most used Islamic core banking in the Islamic banking arena, particularly in the Middle East and Pakistan and some of the other countries globally. So we feel very strongly about the partnership with Terminus. In addition to Terminus, we also provide what we call middleware and other digital solutions. Some of the middlewares we provide include Fiorano, which is an enterprise service bus, whereby it's core banking agnostic, so it can sit on any core banking application and make life easier for the financial services industry. We also have developed our own piece of software, digital solutions, Inlaks digital solutions that we sell across Africa, and those are solutions that I think banks, particularly with the current FX crisis, would look at them as more valuable than whatever they are considering from outside of the country or outside of the continent, and by virtue of the fact that you buy it in the local currency, so to speak. So we do have quite a number of solutions, from CRM to what we call digital banking solutions, whereby you do not need papers. It's literally paperless banking solutions, and some were a bit on the more sophisticated side, where systems go down and we can do some other things like reconciliation, auto reconciliation, and all the other solutions. So we have a repertoire of products and services that we have for our banking clients. So essentially, during these 40 years, Inlaks had made its mark in the ICT arena or the ecosystem, not only in Nigeria, but across the continent. Yeah, so some of the solutions we've developed are actually, because it's digital banking solutions, AI naturally becomes part of that. With AI, like customer service solutions we've built have what I call multi-channel, or rather channel agnostic and multi-channel delivery solutions, whereby you can go from one channel to the next seamlessly. And without even the customer knowing. Well, of course, the customer is the one interacting with the financial service company or entity, whereby our solution will make it seamless for them to move from one channel to the other. Customer onboarding, all of those require certain amounts of digitization, and we believe very strongly that the next thing that would happen would be embedding of IoT devices into some of the other industries, probably outside of the financial services, maybe in logistics, and some such industries whereby these sorts of solutions are highly needed. We do have what I call additive manufacturing on our infrastructure side of the business, where we make certain consumables or spare parts by doing 3D printing of those, even today in Nigeria. So quite a number of things in the digitalization front that we believe one has to adapt or one perishes. So we feel very strongly that those solutions are going to be appropriately integrated into this solution offerings we have for our clients. Yeah, what we have is that we are more focused on Nigeria, West Africa. Well, I say West Africa because Nigeria naturally and East Africa. We do not have a very strong presence in the French-speaking African countries or the Portuguese-speaking, but we've actually have opportunities in those, where we're looking at those locations. I think in the case of the French-speaking West African countries, we're more or less going there by following some of our customers that have moved into those markets. But majorly, we are, in the English-speaking African countries. We haven't gone into Southern Africa, well, South Africa itself, but we have some interactions and opportunities in Southern Africa that we are mining as well.
In looking at all this now, do we see in the nearest future new products?
No, I think the key one I've talked about, without necessarily divulging much information, is our digital solutions. The Inlaks digital solution does have innovative products and solutions. Some we developed earlier, some are being introduced fairly recently. So those to me are the new products or solutions that we've brought to the market. In terms of any new shiny object, probably no, but what we have is we continually tweak and innovate on some of the offerings we have for our clients and customers. So if you look at it, it's more of bringing up to date some of our solutions, but in certain instances they are brand new offerings that we've actually shared with our customers. In some instances, we are in a proof of concept stage with those customers. So fairly quickly, customers will launch those products. Interesting. Fintech is making a lot of waves, and is somebody who has been in the financial technology business for quite a while. I think it is. There is a tendency that every kid these days that want to do you have a startup, would naturally look at fintech as one of those arenas. So there seem to be a lot of startups that are in that space, and of course a lot of companies that have grown and become what I call mature, even though they are fairly, they're less than 10 years old, right? Majority of the fintechs in Nigeria are less than 10 years old. Some may be hitting on that, exceeding that 10 years if you consider InterSwitch or unified payments. But the rest are all fairly younger, much younger, but they are punched above their weights. So, and they continue to bring in new products and services to the industry. They're embracing the uncertainties that the future brings. And I believe that there would be more opportunities on solving people's problems. Wherever there is a better way of doing things and you bring more convenience to me, there is always an opportunity of making money from it. And I tell young people that that is probably the space they will be if they need to be in, and that technology in general. Fintech is a subsector of the entire technology ecosystem, whether it is biotech, programming, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology, whatever technology, health tech, edutech, name them. There is a component of it that requires programming, coding, hardware design, and user interface design, and many of the bits and pieces of what I call core technology is always embedded, because at the end of the day, fintech has the word tech, and therefore it's always going to be evolving and morphing into something else, and it's going to be very quite exciting the next few decades in terms of humanity's evolution of how technology and human interface begin to change how we work, how we play. In some instances, even our own health and our healthcare would all be done in what I would call integrated, immersive technology, human technology interface. So there would be a lot of exciting evolution or development that would come about, even though we are talking about fintech. The technology in general is going to make life more convenient and exciting for people as time goes on.
You said it all, but then maybe last decade, the next decade, what are we?
Yeah, I think maybe most of the things that we look at in the country, I tell people that not everything is Lagos. For those of us living in Lagos, it's like, what next? Whereas you go out to some other parts of the country, things are quite different. It's just, case in point, this Naira change has completely disrupted the national economy, and that's because the inclusivity or the financial inclusion of every citizen had not been considered, because not everybody has a smartphone, not everybody has all the apps downloaded and seamlessly be using them. So we discovered that at the end of the day, people are different strata of the evolutionary cycle of technology, and so unless you include everybody into the ecosystem, you're going to miss out a lot. And so the next decade, if the regulators and government can act as catalysts to bring in financial inclusion or tech inclusion into everything, and with one way or the other, if e-government materializes, By that I mean government embraces technology in all its transactions and conversations with citizens be done via the digital platform or through technology. There would be efficiency, less gatekeepers, more transparency, less corruption. All of those can be done by virtue of embracing technology, even from government to business or government to citizen type of interface. So I think the next decade is going to be an exciting evolution for technology in general, especially if government embraces it wholeheartedly.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Yes. Well, I'm sure you've learned so much today. Definitely. Obviously. And this is how we see it on this path, especially. Okay? My name is Tayo Adebusi. Thank you. Bye-bye.